She was just the housekeeper. But the day the millionaire left her alone with his fiancée, she uncovered a truth so dark it shattered the entire home and changed a baby's future forever. The day everything broke apart started like any normal day inside the quiet marble apartment high above the city, a place where money made every sound soft and kept every secret behind glass walls and white curtains. Maria had learned to move quietly there. As the housekeeper, she knew which floors made noise, which doors squeaked when opened too fast, which rooms felt cold even when the sun was shining in. She also knew the baby's cries before anyone else did. Little Liam had a way of calling for help that sounded less like noise and more like a question, like he was asking the world if it would help him today. Maria always helped. She always did until that morning when she found herself stuck in place, begging, her voice breaking in a house that suddenly felt too big for kindness. The millionaire, Thomas Stone, was away working, and his fiancée, Isabella, had come early, her high heels clicking like a clock, counting down something awful. Isabella was beauty made into a weapon, a woman who smiled with her mouth while her eyes counted things. She had never hidden her angry feelings toward Liam, the baby Thomas had brought into his life after a short, sad past he didn't want to talk about. Isabella called Liam a problem, never a child, and Maria had learned to stand a little closer whenever Isabella came into a room, like being near could protect someone innocent. That morning, sunlight bounced off Isabella's diamond ring as she stared down at the baby crawling on the floor, her mouth making a shape that made Maria's stomach feel tight. Isabella spoke quietly, sweetly, asking Maria to step away for a moment to get a cloth to clean the counter. Maria waited, her feelings screaming at her, but following orders had kept her safe for years. She turned for only a second. When she turned back, Isabella had picked up the wooden practice stick Thomas used for exercise, safe in the right hands, scary in the wrong ones, and lifted it up not to hit, but to scare, to control, to make fear the way they talked in the room. Maria dropped to her knees, the world getting smaller to just the space between Isabella's raised arm and Liam's shaking body. "Please," Maria begged, hands pushed together like she was praying could make things happen. "Please stop. He's just a baby." Isabella's smile went away, replaced by something colder. She said words Maria would never forget, words about lessons and rules and how children needed to be trained early. The stick hung there, the baby cried, and time stretched out thin like glass. Maria jumped forward, her hands sliding on the shiny floor, her voice breaking again and again. What Isabella did next left everyone shocked, not because she hit the baby, but because she didn't need to. She dropped the stick with a loud noise on purpose, bent down, and whispered something into Liam's ear that made him go quiet, his cries stopping like someone had turned off a switch. The room filled with a silence so loud it hurt. Isabella stood up straight, calm, and told Maria to remember her place. That was the moment Maria understood that being mean didn't always show itself with hitting. Sometimes it came with words picked to hurt where no one could see. Maria picked up Liam in her arms, feeling his tiny heart beating fast, feeling a shake that was not just fear, but confusion, like the world had talked in a language he didn't know yet. She held him and made a choice that would change everything. She would not be quiet anymore. She would not be invisible. She would protect him even if it meant losing her job, her home, the small safety she had built from nothing. She carried Liam to the baby's room, locked the door, and sang softly, her voice shaking, but strong enough to remind him that someone would always answer his questions. When Thomas came home without warning that afternoon, his work bag still in his hand, he felt it right away. The wrongness in the air, the way Maria stood too stiff, the way Isabella's friendliness felt fake. Thomas had made his money by noticing what others missed, by hearing what wasn't said, and when he bent down to say hello to his son, he felt the tightness in Liam's small body and saw the darkness in Maria's eyes. Isabella talked first, light and careless, saying Maria was making too big a deal, that babies cried for attention, that being strict was just kindness people didn't understand. Thomas listened, nodded, then asked Maria to speak. Maria's hands shook, but she told the truth in one long breath, every detail clear, every time she had begged, every word Isabella had whispered. The room seemed to tip as Thomas took it all in, his jaw getting tight, his look turning from Isabella to the dropped stick lying where it had been left, a sign of something far worse than wood. Isabella tried to laugh it away, to twist it into something understood wrong, but the mask broke when Thomas asked her to say again the words she had said to the baby. She couldn't. Silence showed she was lying. Thomas ended the wedding plans that day, not with anger, but with a final decision that rang louder than yelling. Security walked Isabella out as she argued, as neighbors looked, as the fake life fell apart. Thomas bent down again, this time to Maria, and thanked her not with money, not with big promises, but with something harder to find: respect. He told her she had saved his son, not just from a moment, but from a future built on fear. The story spread quietly at first, then everywhere, not as rumors, but as a warning and proof. Maria became more than a housekeeper. She became family. She stayed, helping raise Liam with gentleness and rules built from love, not threats. Years later, Liam would not remember the day clearly, but he would feel its echo in the safety he carried inside him, in the way his father listened, in the way Maria never left his side when voices got loud. And for everyone who heard the story, the shock was not only in what the fiancée did, but in what the housekeeper did next. She stood up, she spoke, and she changed the ending. If this story moved you, if you believe that bravery can come from the quietest places, and that protecting people who need help is a choice we make every day, then stay with us. Subscribe for more powerful stories that remind us why caring matters, why truth matters, and why one brave voice can stop a moment from becoming a lifetime.